Alright, today's movie is what I call a serious VHS banger. This is Raising Arizona, and this is VHS Crazy.
Hello? Popcorn delivery?
Put a little weekend in your week. Rent a video.
This is absolutely Nick Cage's best movie. I know I liked Face Off in my Face Off review, but this is the only movie where Nick Cage isn't a meme. As weird as that sounds, yes, this is the movie where he's not a meme. Even in Mandy, which everyone says is his most heartfelt, serious performance to date, he's kind of a meme in that. He got the whole cheddar goblin thing. But this is a completely 100% straight, believable Nick Cage performance. This is a performance where I believe Nick Cage. It might be due to the excellent direction of the Coen brothers, or it might just be because Nick Cage really is a competent actor. When you give him a role, he can really sink into. I remember when I watched Wild at Heart, the David Lynch movie, for the first time. And all the while I was watching it, I was thinking, Nick Cage in this is really trying to be like the guy from Raising Arizona. Because I had already seen Raising Arizona, and I didn't even notice it was Nick Cage. That's how well he blends into this. Like, you don't even notice it's Nick Cage. You forget all the memes. It's pretty crazy. On second thought, I don't know what Sailor really has to do with Hi. They're very different characters, apart from they both have adventures in the desert, and they both have love interests. One is this psychotic, fast-paced Elvis impersonator. The other is this low-life, dirt-ragged bum with no self-esteem and crippling anxiety. This is from the Coen bros. And everyone says they love The Big Lebowski. Generally, a good indicator of if a movie is garbage is if everyone agrees they like it. 100% consensus. Because you can bet they're all a bunch of morons and they've been brainwashed into liking something that really isn't that good. That's the case with Avatar. That's the case with Titanic. That's the case with The Big Lebowski. Even though Kingpin is a better bowling movie. I don't know why no one ever talks about Kingpin. I feel like I'm the only person who's ever watched Kingpin. It's a better bowling movie than The Big Lebowski. But yeah, if there's a movie everyone says they really enjoy, like Children of Men, and you never hear anything bad about it, odds are probably not that good. I never hear about Raising Arizona much, but it's definitely the Coen bros' best movie, along with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? They're kind of tied, I gotta say. I saw Hail Caesar in theaters, and it was pretty epic. Hail Caesar is really good, but it's not as good as this. Like, I liked Hail Caesar, it was okay, but Raising Arizona is just the Coen bros at their best. Bringing that down-home suburban American life to the big screen. And, Arizona is a state that deserves to have a movie set in it. I don't think there is many other movies set in Arizona. Arizona is such a new state. It was made a state after 1900. There are probably some people still alive today who were alive when Arizona wasn't a state. That's kind of crazy to think about. Not too many, but some people's dads were probably alive when that was a thing. That's really crazy. But yeah, this is a good movie. It's set in Arizona. Can't say I hate that. Arizona deserves a movie made about it. But yeah, Nick Cage just totally meshes in this. Like the mustache and the hairstyle. He looks so trashy, and it's just entirely convincing. And the opening where he keeps going to prison again and again because he's such a pathetic repeat offender. Just classic stuff, That's how you set up a rollicking good story. that's how you set up your characters' motivations and their lifestyles. And you know, the guy grunting as Nick Cage goes past. It's the little touches, the little flares that the Coen brothers add in there. And yeah, it's just great.
Prison life is very structured, more than most people care for. But there's a spirit of camaraderie that exists between the men, like you find only in combat, maybe, or on a pro ball club in the heat of a peanut drive.
You know, the parole board is made up of these country buffoons. That's a common trope in Coen brothers movies, the country buffoons. You got the fat congressman, you got Homer Stokes, you know, you got, you know, just, it's a classic Coen brothers thing. And they really play it up here. You got the dweeby little gas station attendant, you got the swinging couple, you got, you know, just Coen brothers fare at its best. All the scenes in this are great. They're all stitched together so good. The editing is just epic. The shots are all great. And Holly Hunter's good in this too. It's very nice to see a progressive female police officer. And also, it's interesting how they're a mismatch, you know. How Nicolas Cage is this outlaw with no conscience basically, and Holly is this straight-laced, like, conformist. It's just so interesting. They really got that down pat.
You son of a bitch!
Better hurry it up. I'm in Dutch with the wife.
Joel Siegel says one of the most inventive, original, absolutely wacko comedies in years. Man, I can agree with that. And of course, this has got John Goodman in it as Nicolas Cage's prison pal. Coen brothers mainstay. Wouldn't be a Coen brothers joint without an appearance from John Goodman, and he's pretty okay in this. I actually kind of like him. I don't think John Goodman's that funny, but when he's in a supporting role, you know, yeah, he can be kind of wacky and silly, like the SNL sketches he's in. Yeah, Christmas Whistle. Yeah, but he does good in Coen brothers movies. I will say that the Coen brothers know how to make use of his talents and get him in there, and I like him in this. He's fun. Like, this is just Pete Coen Bros right here. Recently, of course, their movie The Ballad of Buster Scruggs came out on Netflix. Man, they must be losing their touch to put a movie out on Netflix. I never watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. You shouldn't either. Don't watch movies that are only put out on Netflix. That's a cheap gimmick. Just watch this. It's probably better. Or watch Hail Caesar. It was released in theaters, and I remember really enjoying it. It was pretty funny, especially the sailor dance. Raising Arizona. Just what an excellent film. Like, all around. You know, as with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, there's a lot of literary allusions, a lot of kind of heroic, epic proportions to this low-class, you know, day in the life story that the Coen brothers have got going on here. There's kind of another, like, dimension to it, where you feel like this is like some kind of crazy, epic, like, neo-western. And, of course, a lot of the atmosphere of No Country for Old Men, which the Coen Bros also direct, comes through strong in this. It's a very smoky movie with a lot of Arizona shots, but it's not really a neo-western because everything is very suburban. You got all the lawn chairs, you got all the pool floats and kitchen countertops, and, you know, it's a very modern film.
Now you soak a stomach eye dye and you might get by without the orthodonture and won't knock a thing off the university.
What's really interesting about this movie, and it really interests me when movies do this, is when they could really be set in any, you know, in a lot of decades. The Nathan Lanley Evans joint Mouse Hunt is a good example of that, but this is another example. This movie could be set any time between the 1960s and the 1990s. That's really interesting. I really like that. It doesn't feel exclusive to one point in time per se, but it does have a very Coen Bros flavor to it, if that makes sense. The Coen Bros are good directors, except with The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Why would you release your movie only on Netflix? What's even the point? Don't make a movie if you're gonna do that. But the Coen Bros are seasoned directors, top of their game, or at least they were before they made The Ballad of Buster Scruggs and ruined their careers. This is some good Coen Brothers action right here. This is some good, solid stuff. All the props are nice, the sets are nice, everything looks shiny, but at the same time, everything looks really dusty. You can imagine everything being covered in this thin coat of dust and grit. And, One of the best parts of this movie is Nick Cage's monologues, which cover up about 25% of the movie's runtime.
I don't know. Maybe it was Utah.
They really work. The man is great at giving monologues. I don't know why this isn't implemented much in any of his other films, but he's really good at doing a monologue about, the future and the state of the world, and am I gonna have a child or am I not? And even though the movie ends with them giving the baby back, spoiler warning, it's not a sad ending, because the baby wasn't really theirs to begin with, and it only caused trouble for them. So, at the end of the day, it's not a sad ending. In fact, it can kind of make you cry with tears of joy. That's just how wholesome and heartfelt it all is. It's just, and obviously the baby lives, but I do like how Nick Cage's dream sequence about the crazy big brute on the motorcycle is revealed to be actually a real thing that actually exists in the universe. It makes the universe feel chaotic and unpredictable, as if these wacky characters Nick Cage comes up with in his mind can just leave his head and enter reality. And the Brute is just such a great villain. He's just so imposing and epic. And his motorcycle is like A tier.
But I feared that I myself had unleashed him.
Man, Nathan Arizona is just great. Just a fun character. The scene where he's being interrogated is a lot of fun. Every scene in this movie is a lot of fun. I like the bit where Nick Cage sticks the plank out and the Brute gets hit with it, and then he blows up with the grenade. It's very well choreographed action sequences, very nice chase scenes. The Coen Bros know how to shoot a movie. Clearly, all the money went in the right places to tell this exciting tale of kidnapping and greasy dirt bikers and Arizona evenings. And oh boy, does it culminate in an absolute spectacle. This is a real romp. This, every character feels like they're living their own little lives, 'cause the Coen Bros are so good at character writing. They're so good at creating characters that feel realistic, but at the same time they kind of feel like cartoons. You kind of feel like you're watching this weird American pastiche of ideas and sounds, and just so gosh darn homespun, I guess is what you'd call it.
What did the pajamas look like? I don't know. They were jammies. They had Yodas and shit on them.
Here's the back description. Nicolas Cage, Holly Hunter, and John Goodman star in Ethan and Joel Coen's acclaimed screwball love story filled with mad chases, unexpected plot twists, and wild pyrotechnics. Vowing to go straight, a convenience store bandit proposes marriage to the police department's photographer. All is wedded bliss until they discover she's unable to get pregnant and are turned down by every adoption agency in town. It doesn't take long before they realize the only solution is to kidnap one of the town's celebrated quintuplets and hit the road. Approximately 94 minutes, color 1987. I'm not sure exactly why the approximately is in there. That's one thing I don't really understand about VHSs. why they had to go approximately, like, you know the length of a movie. Obviously don't include the end credits, but you know the length of a movie. I mean, why you gotta approximate? You're the one designing the case. You should at least watch the movie and check the runtime, you know? So I don't really get that. I have no idea what that's for, because that's not necessary. And not even every VHS I have says approximately. I don't get it. But anyway, that's just a problem with the VHS. Obviously not with the movie. This is a gold tier, top fun romp that is sure to keep you guessing, keep you thinking about what's going to happen next. You'll never be able to guess what happens next unless you watch this review and get to this point, in which case I've pretty much spoiled the entire movie for you. Sorry about that. I don't think about these things, but that's what a review is for. You should probably be watching these after you watch the movies, because I might spoil some stuff. There's a little proof of purchase tab here. So weird. Anyway, this is 99 cents, and that's a good price for it. Pretty cheap. Oh, it's a thrift store tag, so yeah, obviously this would have sold for like $5 back in the day, before thrift store price, and yeah, I would have paid $5 for this. I would have paid for this. It's a decent price, because man oh man, is this an entertaining comedy. Clearly Joel and Ethan are going for a very screwball feel with this one, and it definitely works. With screwball you gotta have all kinds of different characters, a wacky scenario, a wacky premise, a setup, and a payoff. And they really go for it with this. If Oh Brother Where Art Thou is their tribute to silent movies, and Hail Caesar is their tribute to big movie musicals, then Raising Arizona is their tribute to It Happened One Night, but set in Arizona, which I think is a really nice touch, because not many movies are set in Arizona, and Arizona deserves a classic of its own. Too bad it's not Colorado, but I'd probably feel insulted if it was in Colorado. I don't know what Arizonans think of this movie. I've never even been to Arizona. It's an interesting state from what I hear, but, you know, interesting stuff all around. Obviously, the cover photo is iconic, hanging out on the lawn chairs. What a picture. And yeah, this is probably one of the greatest kidnapping movies ever made. And you don't hate Nick Cage for it, because he offers his own kind of twisted, backwards-ass logic, you know. How do some have so many and others have so few? And from there on out, it's just a roller coaster of treachery and wackiness until you reach the inevitable conclusion, which is that they return the infant to the rightful parent, and Nathan Arizona is like, okay. And man, whoever's Nathan Arizona in this, epic, 100% tops.
My motto is do it my way or watch your butt.
And I just noticed that the director of photography on this is Barry Sonnenfeld. That's yet another reason why this is so gosh darn good. Same guy's Addams Family, same guy's Men in Black. Barry Sonnenfeld is some good stuff, and I can definitely see why this movie is even better, and especially why the fight scenes are so well choreographed when you got Barry Sonnenfeld as your director of photography. He's just an A+ fella. So yeah, that's obviously another reason why this movie is so good. An interesting bit of trivia here. To cast the all-important role of Arizona, 400 babies were auditioned, and 8-month-old T.J. Kunn got the part. He was the most even-tempered, unflappable tot the filmmakers encountered. Congrats to T.J. Kunn. This was undoubtedly the start of a long and prolific acting career, and if it wasn't, I don't know what could be. I mean, this is like, he is the most unflappable tot you can encounter. He just keeps a straight face the whole time, and it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, and Nick Cage is really good in this. If you're only used to Nick Cage as a meme, this is the only movie where Nick Cage isn't a meme. This is the movie where Nick Cage really packs the punch. This is the one where Nick Cage ain't a meme. And he was so good and so believable as this low-life, scumbag, dirtbag, scumbag millionaire, or not a millionaire, I guess, that I completely forgot it was Nick Cage, and then I saw Wild at Heart, and I thought, Nick Cage is trying to be the Raising Arizona guy. Again, I don't know why I thought that. Sailor and High aren't like anything similar as far as characters go. But yeah, that's Raising Arizona for you. Top tier movie, all-star cast, and just the definitive Coen joint. It's just, you know, it's less stylistic and technically ambitious than Oh Brother Where Art Thou, but it more than makes up for it. Like, it's less focused on technique and more focused on plot, and obviously this isn't really based on one story in particular like The Odyssey, so you don't have so much, you know, it's much more original and inventive, and it really takes risks, and I like that about a movie, when a movie takes risks and isn't afraid to, you know, go a little off kilter. This is some solid stuff right here. So yeah, 5 stars for Raising Arizona. That's the only rating I can possibly give this thing. This is a good quality, top tier, grade A comedy right here. And if you want a barrel of laughs, then pop this in and get ready for a 5-star experience, Daddy-O, because Nick Cage is about to blow you away. If you thought all he was is a meme, well, get ready to have your world shaken up. But yeah.
Okay then.
So yeah, that's my review of Raising Arizona. Definitely a serious additive to any collection. You want to get your hands on this. This edition is the 20th Century Fox Selections edition, which I guess is a collection anthology they had. So yeah, a selected series of films available at a special value for a limited time. So obviously this version is in very high quality, top audio, top visuals, everything in perfect working order. And man, oh man, this is just a good, solid, yeah, it says hi-fi stereo, good solid stuff right here. So 5 stars for this. If you want to support these reviews, then write to Nicholas Ikeda, 1424 Columbine Street, number 1, Denver, Colorado 80206, because I have some fresh content on the way. And in the meantime, pop some stuff in the VHS, make yourself some popcorn. It's a good time. VHS is the best. Ain't no denying it. Ain't no mountain high enough. And until next time, sayonara, suckers. This is Nicholas Ikeda signing off.